Hi sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to my channel. I hope you are great. Disclaimer: this video reflects my personal opinions and commentary. It is not intended to harass, harm, or defame any individual. Content is for discussions and educational purposes. So I decided to pull this video back for some people because I feel like when this happened, so many people did not even know about it. But I am bringing it back to remind Black people that Asians did not start today when it comes to coming for Black people. It's been way a long time ago. So there is this video where an Asian woman was telling Black people why is it that they always use race card to get away from some certain things. And I wanted to know that discussion on point was racism and slavery. So she decided that she was going to jump into that as what people that wants to be white, as a white woman she is. Now let me tell us something, because some people are not too bright to understand some certain things. Majority of you do not understand that what you all are benefiting, especially the birthright citizenship that you all are benefiting today, was because Black Americans fought for it. Now, I am going to say this with all seriousness. Black people should have left us where we were. When I say left us, I mean migrants, all the migrants, including everybody. You all should have left every one of us to come and fight for ourselves, because all the things you fought for, the majority of us are enjoying today, they are not grateful because they did not fight for it. It was handed to them on a platter of gold. Have you ever bought phone before? If you have ever bought phone before, you know how careful you are because you don't want it to break. Let's get into it.
Hard of Black people using the race card.
I just want to say that obviously not every single Asian agrees with her or thinks that way, and I think stuff like this sets communities back. So here are some quick reminders that will set things into perspective. Black people did not drop nuclear bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Black people did not drop Agent Orange in Vietnam. Black people did not put Asian people in concentration camps. Black people did not sign off on the Chinese Exclusion Act. As a minority in America, I'm very thankful for the Black community, for their sacrifices they have made for pushing the civil rights for minorities. I am not an expert in politics or social policies. I'm just a tech bro software engineer, but I do think that this is a prime example of why education on minority issues such as slavery and systemic racism should be taught more in depth in classes. I think another problem is that education around American slavery and its impacts isn't really taught around the world. So I just want to emphasize one more time that education around minority issues needs a revamp, not just in the United States, but also around the world. Because the current education around this stuff is evidently not working, because there's people in power who believe that slavery benefited Black people, which is insane.
Black people using the race card.
And I'm tired of seeing the same people who benefited from our fight for civil rights using those freedoms to pursue white validation. But I'm going to focus on something else here, y'all. Instead of me reading her the way that I normally would, I'm going to break her down for y'all and give you a lesson in white adjacency 101, because she's a prime example. So first and foremost, keep in mind that this is an Asian woman, and don't think she didn't factor that in when she said what she said. She knows that we can't push back and say that she doesn't know marginalization or she doesn't know what it's like to be mistreated by white people, because historically speaking, the Asian community does. But she's allowing herself to be a spokesperson, if you will, for white supremacy, because that allows her to maintain her position within it, which is white adjacency, because there's power there. But the reason she can disconnect herself from her history in a way that we can't is because her present looks very different. Black people are still actively fighting the same history, which is why we have to keep it in the forefront of our minds. We can't allow ourselves to stop being diligent, because history is constantly trying to repeat itself. But in her community, things have advanced to a place where she can feel audacious, clearly. If you think about it, that's probably true, because when there's an influx of crime in the Asian community, what did we do? Stop Asian hate bill immediately. And I'm not saying that that shouldn't have happened. It should. But we don't see that type of quick action when it's Black people. So she's coming from a place of privilege, again, which stems from her white adjacency. And honestly, y'all, if you're paying attention, what she's doing is trying to conflate name calling with actual racism. Racism in this country is systemic, systems of oppression. They were built specifically to marginalize Black people and then included people like her. She's talking about that in comparison to name calling white people. And don't think that she really cares about white people's feelings, because she doesn't. She's saying this to secure her position within white supremacy, because she's learned from her pale skin that there's power in being white adjacent. That's what she's protecting. And she's also highlighting her disregard for anybody else's experiences, and also her lack of empathy, which again, I believe stems from white supremacy. She has this sense of entitlement about her that makes her feel validated in trying to reprimand or chastise us in our behavior. She thinks that we should play nice with our oppressor because the oppressors are no longer oppressing her the way that they used to, even though they're still treating us the same way. And if you notice, because there's a lot of layers here, she still has no empathy as far as how we're treated in the past or in the present. If you think about somebody and their traumas, right? You know that, let's say that somebody has a fear of dogs because they've been mauled by a dog. We expect them to be scared of dogs, to hate dogs, to not want to be around them. We don't get that same grace extended to us, even though we've had some of the worst atrocities committed against us by white people. Yet she sits here conflating feelings with systems. All we can do is hurt white people's feelings, but they can weaponize their feelings against us and use the systems created to hurt us. They can call the police, weaponize their tears, and get us killed, get us fired. There's differences here. And that's what she's not saying. So y'all start paying attention to what's not being said, because that's usually what speaks the most volumes.
I'm tired of black people using the race card all the time.
I hate that crap when they say that. The race card. You're so worried about it. I'm worried about how in the hell did it get in the deck? And they brainwash everybody. They have a brainwashing machine that's unreal. The color of your skin condemns you.
What newsflash? Every culture kept slaves. The Chinese kept slaves, the Greek kept slaves, Native American kept slaves, and you know what the best part is? Native Africans kept slaves.
Slavery in most other cultures around the world could be based on a lot of things. Criminals were often enslaved, people who owed debts were enslaved until they could work off those debts, and some slaves were prisoners of war. But the creation of a system of generational slavery that justified the ownership of another human being based solely on the color of their skin, that's a uniquely European invention.
Because I'm tired of black people using the race card all the time and then being... Also, white people, you need to step up. Stop self-deprecating because of your ancestors' sins. Stop apologizing for something that you didn't do.
In Get Out, the Asian character aligns himself with whiteness.
In Do the Right Thing, the Asian character aligns himself against whiteness, so much that he claims blackness, but only when it was convenient for him to save himself.
Are Asian people next in line to be white? Whiteness isn't just about skin color. Whiteness is actually inscribed into the law itself. And we could see how Asian Americans have attempted to claim legal whiteness and were then shown their place in America's racial hierarchy.
1922. Takao Ozawa was born in Japan and lived in the US for 20 years. He applied for naturalization.
Instead of challenging the constitutionality of these racial restrictions, Ozawa claimed the Japanese people, because they were so light-skinned, should be considered free white persons. The Supreme Court unanimously ruled against Ozawa, stating that the words white person only referred to those of the Caucasian race.
Whiteness as a concept continued to evolve.
And this is how the law acknowledged that race is a social construct. Whiteness emerged as an ideology and a legal framework to ensure that a certain group of people held power over others.
This time in the Mississippi Delta during the age of racial segregation.
1927, Gong Lum, a Chinese-American grocery store owner in the South, sues his local white public school for kicking out his daughter, Martha Lum, for being colored. Instead of claiming that segregated schools are inherently unequal, the Lum family tries to claim that Martha Lum was not colored.
The court unanimously ruled against the Lum family, stating that segregated education was to be divided between the pure white or Caucasian race and colored people, which explicitly meant the brown, yellow, and black races.
And because Martha Lum was supposedly part of the Mongolian or yellow race, she could not be enrolled in white schools.
No matter how light-skinned, how financially successful, how model of a minority Asian people may be, they will never be considered white.
Claiming whiteness will never work as a response to racial injustice, because whiteness and white supremacy is actually about producing and maintaining inequality. Resorting to anti-blackness will not only hinder justice for Asian Americans, but all communities who are perceived as not white. When I hear the phrase, Asians are next in line to be white, I replace the word white with disappear. Asians are next in line to disappear.
We are reputed to be so accomplished and so law-abiding, we will disappear into this country's amnesiac fog.
We will not be the power, but become absorbed by power. Not share the power of whites, but be stooges to a white ideology that exploited our ancestors.
Because I'm tired of black people using the race card all the time.
Okay. I really didn't want to make this video, but I think that we really need to have a conversation here. You're tired of black people using the race card because you were listening to a young lady who called white people bleach demons, which I find rather funny. So I'm probably going to use that in my vernacular a little bit. But in all honesty, the reason that your family was allowed to migrate here was because of the civil rights. Let's get that out in the open. Same thing with most people in the Caribbean. I can't speak for myself because I'm a Commonwealth of the United States, so I can migrate back and forth freely. But to say that you're tired of black people using the race card when we have a whole entire system built, and I mean built on the predication or, you know, the vile nature towards one specific race of people. And, you know, Hispanics get treated bad, Asians get treated bad, I understand, but there's levels to this. You being part of what they consider the model minority is just a way to get the races to all argue with each other. But you not... I'm trying to figure out a good way to say this, but you, specifically you, deciding to say, hey, that you're offended and you're saying that people that are being subjugated can be racist towards the oppressor is funny to me. There's physically no way that you can do that. They're not in a position of power. None of us are. So all the little comments that we make and the commentary that we usually portray on these apps don't do anything except make us laugh. So you benefiting off of the hard work of the so-called black people using that race card is the reason that you're able to come here and use all the benefits and all the resources of this one country. Yet you think that you're going to be so superior when you get here because you're probably in the same mindset as those people who got rid of affirmative action, where I'm being subjugated because I'm not getting my way, but let it be one of those black people and let them raise up the ranks, even though generally it's usually their hard work that gets them there. So maybe there's a disconnect on your end, but you're probably part of Team White Supremacy. And I'll say that wholeheartedly. I'll say that with the goddamn chest. You are part of Team White Supremacy. You are literally, by making that video, helping to spread, like the cancerous plague that you are, the white supremacy notion that all black people like to do is play the race card and say everything is racist and everything's a problem. Even though only thing that we're doing is calling it out. So have whatever fun day that you're having, but just know that you're Team White Supremacy.
I'm tired of black people using the race card all the time and then be like, yeah, your ancestors.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You see, this is what we not gonna do. especially after we didn't included Asians in the civil rights and the Black Lives Matter movement. Now, ma'am, I don't care where you take a seat, but please, with all due respect, get somewhere and sit your ass down. Anyway, carry on.
Native Africans kept slaves. They participated in the transatlantic slave.
I really hope she's getting paid for this, because being this involved in black business that has nothing to do with you for free is just insanity to me. I'm so sorry. I really hate when people say, well, Africans are telling other Africans, because what they're trying to do with that statement is they're trying to take the blame off of white people and try to put the blame on African people to try to fuel this beef between African Americans and African people. And my thing is, like, you're taking a huge chunk out of this story to just fuel this beef with black people, and it's so weird to me. I'm sorry. People like to misconstrue the story, and it really pisses me off. Because, yes, there were some Africans who were selling African people. And then the Africans who were selling African people ended up getting got. Some of them either got sold, got taken over by European power, had to run over the continent trying to hide from European power because they knew that they were next. Because Europeans were going after them too, actually. The goal of white supremacy is to put black people against each other so they can't go for white people because they're fighting each other.
Because I'm tired of black people using the race card all the time.
Okay, this is the never-ending anti-blackness that's allowed on social media all the time. But when anybody black pushes back and says something against this anti-blackness, we are threatened with violations of community guidelines. We are told that we're inciting hatred towards another community. But every other community is always allowed to be as anti-black as they want to be towards black people. But see, this is the American psyche once again telling black people that you have to be willing to accept the abuse that others give you. And then you have to be willing to forgive those who abuse you. You have to be always willing to say to people, I forgive you. How can we come together? How can I help fix you? See, we're always asked to understand everybody else's point of view. But when I say to everybody else, go a day without including us in your life, y'all can't do it. It can't be done. Okay? Rather than focusing on your communities, because everyone else acts as if their communities are all perfect and there is no problems within their community. So they act like we have to fix black people because black people can't fix ourselves. We can't fix ourselves. But we're not accountable to you. And you take the smallest fragment of the black community and that gets highlighted. The most negative aspects always get highlighted on social media. But this is what's done. This is the American way, okay? And when we refuse to participate in the anti-blackness of our own communities, then we're labeled as the problem with America. Rather than anybody else, see, no other community will accept that. And no other community is asked to accept the anti-ness of their community. But when we as black people say, now we're not going to accept that, we're going to work together. We're not going to go out there and work with those who are working against us. Now we're saying, oh, you want to bring back segregation. But at the same time, the same people who say black people want to bring back segregation, but the same people saying, why can't you work in unison like every other community? See, once again, y'all hate us, but y'all can't leave us alone. You can't just say, well, we don't want nothing to do with y'all, so we're going to be on this side of the fence, and y'all stay on your side of the fence. And however we work it out, good, bad, or indifferent, y'all always have to interfere because y'all hate us so much.
I'm tired of black people using the race card all the time and then be like, yeah, your ancestors enslaved my...
What I'm actually tired of is other minorities trying to interject like they have any kind of clue of what the black experience in America is really like. So when we're speaking racism in America, it goes way deeper than how an individual feels about another individual. We're talking systemic. So yes, that hits very differently. When you're redlined and you can't move where you want to move, where your children have to deal with lack of education because of lack of funding and the differences in the educational systems where minority African Americans are, to the overwhelming police brutality, as well as the injustices in the justice system. You're absolutely right. The things that people's ancestors did that are palm colored in the past probably don't affect them. Yet here we are as African Americans with generational trauma. The things that their ancestors did that were cruel benefited them. Yet the things that happened to our ancestors made things worse for us. And the main problem is that it's perpetuated through generation after generation after generation, and we're held back a lot of times from progressing and moving forward. A problem that you guys don't have. But let's be clear, it's no hush-hush when COVID hit and everybody was being discriminatory and racist towards Asians. You guys were really loud then. So why is it that when we're loud for things that have gone on for generations after generations, it's always a you can't understand, or you don't want, or it doesn't exist? Walk a mile in my shoes. You want to talk about a strong race, a race who can deal with anything and is resilient? You look at Black African Americans. Because despite it all, we are still here, and some of us are still succeeding and out-succeeding you. If you're not going to be supported, just be quiet, because your whole conversation does nothing but support the agenda of the white supremacists and the real racists. And let's be clear, have a little empathy for some people who made this like a race of people that have perpetually kept them down. I'm done.
Tired of black people using the race card all the time.
Alright, so go back and watch her clip, because, man, it's too much. It's too much. But listen, long story short, I'm going to break this down in the most simplest way, right? She talks about a lot of different crazy stuff that's literally already been debunked, about how every person's had slaves and how all of this stuff. But look, let's just keep it simple. We're talking about American slavery, right? We're talking about what happened here in the States, right? We're not talking about any other culture. Yes, we know Mexico has slaves. Yes, we know China has slaves. Yes, we know everybody's been a slave before. What we're talking about is the simple fact that, listen. Obviously, you can see I'm black, right? Let me go. Come on, we're going to get in the sun. Oh my God, yes. All right, so you can see I'm black, right? So I'm gonna go back to the shade, because I'm not gonna lie, it's hot as hell, and that running just took a little bit of energy out of me. I'm gonna sit down on this nice ass motherfucking thing right here. So check it out, right? Let's talk. I'm gonna throw y'all right here. So long story short, right? This lady's crazy. I don't know what's her problem. But long story short, listen. I'm a black man, 32, right? 32 years old. I'm chilling, minding my business, doing my thing. You know the difference between every other slavery and American slavery is that here I am, black man, 4 kids. I was terrified that my kids would come out my shade, because I didn't want to have the police talk with them. I was terrified that the kids would come out a complexion as dark as me, because guess what? I know that I'm going to get followed around in every Walmart I go to. I know that because I look this nice little cinnamon toasty brown, that someone's going to fuck with me for no absolute reason, right? So it's not just the slavery part. Because look at you, ma'am. This lady, man, listen, y'all go back and watch that video of this lady. But I guarantee you, y'all have seen the videos thousands of times where they ask people like, hey, would you ever want to switch and be black? Or would you be any other race besides your race? No one's going to pick black, because they understand what comes with this. This shit not easy. This shit hard. This shit's not easy. I'm going to tell you that right now. So when we're talking about this shit and the white people get upset about it, or the other races get upset about it, literally we're telling you that this happened. Accept it, move past it, and let's do something about it. Because she's telling white people, oh, don't be self-deprecating. Don't say, oh my God, my ancestors were horrible. No, listen, look, white people, I'm gonna tell y'all, that's what the fuck y'all need to do. Because guess what? My kids are mixed. My kids are half white. I'm gonna tell y'all the same shit I tell my kids. Look, this shit happened. Shit's real. Now, what are we gonna do about it? Number one, the first thing we can do about it is become an actual ally to the change, instead of sitting around and going, oh, well, that was so long ago. Yes, it was so fucking long ago. Doesn't mean it was right. Yes, there were other tribes and cultures and different things, and Africa participated in it. Doesn't mean it was right. When you know better, you If you said when you know better, you do better, you're probably black because your mama done told you that your whole fucking life. Because when you know better, you do better. So that's the point. God damn, get the fuck on.
I'm tired of black people using the race card all the time and then be like, yeah, your ancestors enslaved.
What does anything you have to say have to do with you or any other Asian? Like, for real, did your ancestors own any enslaved Africans? The answer is no. The conversations we should be having as Asians is why are we upholding white supremacy, namely certain Asian women. So instead of pandering to all those live, laugh, love fucking white girls in yoga pants on your comments, I'm gonna give you some things to be concerned about. Filipinos who were forced to eat dog in a human zoo exhibit, the Chinese Immigration Exclusion Act, Japanese internment camps. And today in 2023, they are passing laws to prevent Asians from purchasing property in certain areas. And while you're at it, also look up how the black community included Asians in the civil rights movement. I encourage you and anyone who looks like you or me to look up the real history on how this country has treated the Asian community. Go wash some rice and stop being...
And you know what? Newsflash, every culture kept slaves. The Chinese kept slaves.
I know I'm the last person you want to hear this from because I am a white woman speaking about American slavery, and all I'm going to do is white explain this to you. But this is to people that don't understand why the United States slavery is so important to speak on and to protect black culture. United States slavery was because it was cheap labor and they looked different from us and it was easy just to sell people and view them like they were nothing and meaningless. Black Americans are stripped of everything. So what do they do in response? They created their own culture. Language, music, art, fashion, things like that. They had no ties to this world, no self-identity, so they created it themselves. Outside of American indigenous culture, there's no culture here in the United States except for black culture. Why the fuck do you think they're fighting tooth and nail to keep it?
Because I'm tired of black people using the race card all the time and then be like, yeah, your ancestors enslaved mine hundreds of years ago.
All I got from this video. And do you know why I brought this video back? Because sometimes we'll talk about Asian racism towards black people. Some people actually think it's new or it's something that just started yesterday or 2 days ago. No, guys, it did not start today. It's been here for so long. The problem is that some people actually do not know. In fact, they did not teach them seniority, but ignorant of a law is not an excuse. From what she has said, you definitely will know that she is not even on the right side of history. She is on the wrong side of history, right? I want you to know that for her to tell black people that they make everything all about race, because that is what she meant, you know. That was what she meant. Why are black people always using the race card when right in front of her, she knows literally everything is all about race, and black people are the only ones that are not even supposed to speak up, say anything about race, because you are forbidden to say that as a black person. It's actually, I don't know the right word, but it's disgusting when you see people that are supposed to know their own history that do not know it, and then go around and tap dance for their oppressor. It tells you a lot. Proximity to whiteness. When you look at her, you definitely will know that she is benefiting from proximity to some certain kind of things and all that. So as a black person, you are not even supposed to speak up. And this conversation actually started when a black girl was talking to a white person about some certain things, and then slavery came up and black people decided to talk about it, and she said that black people are always using this race card to get away from some certain things. Now, This might sound a little bit awkward, but I just have to say it. The truth is that some people, black people should have let some people where they were. You heard me right. Black people should have left so many people where they were. I mean, like, there is no need to pick don't pick me too. There is no need to pick anybody up. Leave everybody where they are. Let them struggle. Because sometimes when you literally fight for everything for people, people will not know their benefit. I was speaking to my sister 2 days ago and we were talking about phone, right? And she told me, don't ever give that phone away, or don't ever buy so phone for anybody. Why? Because if you do, the person will break it. This person is actually fond of breaking phones. I don't know if she does it intentionally or not, but when I was younger, I was like this too. I don't know, phone, no matter how expensive that phone is, my dad, they kept buying phones till they died, right? They just kept changing phones because I will go to school today with this phone and I won't come back with it the next day. And it became a problem. And then it probably was because I was not the one buying it, because if I was buying it, I will use it properly. Like the ones that I bought. Is this not iPhone 12? iPhone 12 since how many years? Since how many years? And I am still using it. And it is in perfect condition. You got me? It is because I bought it with my money. So if I had not, some people do not value, some people do value, but some people do not value. So what am I saying? In essence, what I am saying is that black people should have left literally everybody where they were. Because if we had struggled for some certain things, when I say we, I am not meaning black people. I mean, I and other people, other migrants, if they have struggled to get what they have presently today, they will be very mindful of some certain things they say. Majority of the things they do and say is because they did not fight for it. You fought for it. And that is also one of the reasons why they do not respect you. Some people, the only time they respect you is when you are when you are a bully. Right? Like one of the person that spoke on the video asked, did black people ever drop boom boom on anybody? Have you ever seen a country that they said black people were the ones that are No. Have you gone to? No, you have not. Have you ever? Nothing. Nothing. The only thing is that you have been the one asking for peace. Because if you had, I am sure they will respect you with everything in them. So I decided to pull this video back for you and I, so that for those that will think majority of the things happening presently today are new. It's been happening since. When we talk about modern minority, it's a thing some people have refused to acknowledge. But this will not just only hurt, it will hurt them in a way that they will not comprehend. It is still doing them like a movie. Don't worry, it will mature. And when it matures, that is where the problem starts. I am wishing them well in their endeavors of being racist and their proximity to whiteness and what modern minority continue to excel. Bye for now.